Hello, Sharon from Mad Paper Crush here. It is time to start doing some altered book junk journal planning, and I am getting ready for January of 2021. So this is the journal that I had gotten prepared to start with January. And today what I'm going to be showing you is how I start my first couple pages. So I'm going to show you how I get my index going. I like to keep an index in the front of my journal so that I can write down page numbers of different things in my planner that I can go, right here, find them, and then quickly turn to them in my planner. We're going to do a title page here for January, and then I'm going to do a step-by-step kind of with the first week here. So I have my first week ready to go, and then I also just put together my second week. I didn't do a step-by-step on this one, but I show you at the end kind of everything that I did for this one. So I hope you'll join me today as we get started on our 2021 Altered Book Junk Journal planners. Let's go. I've got a new freebie for you all. I don't know if you were around at the beginning of 2020, but I made some calendar clips with the months all put on them. Now, last year I had done them with mushrooms in the background, and I thought it would be nice this year to do some flowers. So I've made these clips again, and I've actually put in the month and the dates on each of the months just in a teeny tiny format, and you can make little calendar clips from them that you can put in your journal and use throughout the year. Now, you can get the 2021 clips if you go to this address, madpapercrush.com/2021 clips, and you'll be taken to a place where you can download these clips that you can make for your own journal. And I will also link down below the instructions on how to make them. So I'll link to my video from last year so you can see how to put these together. But I'm going to go ahead and put these together, and I'll show you what they look like when I'm all done. And here they are, through the magic of video. I made all of my clips so that I'll have them all ready to go throughout the year. And usually what I do is I just put a paper clip in the 2 months, the month that it is and the month that's coming up. I'll put the paper clips in those so that I can keep them in my journal, so that if I need to look at anything, I can just go right to them. So I have my paper clip for January. And where did February go? And then I also have my paper clip for February. And then the rest of them, I'll probably just slip into an envelope and keep them somewhere where I can grab them again when the new months start. And now I like to do mine pretty plain because I figure that, the month goes by pretty fast. And then I can also take this and glue it down into my journal so that I kind of have a reminder of, the month that was there in January. So once January is over, I'll take the paper clip out, and then I'll probably glue it down to one of my January pages, or maybe even to my title page when I get that done, so that, I have that month in there for me to remember. So that's kind of how I set up my paper clips. And if you want some of your own, you can just go to madpapercrush.com/2021 clips. All right, let's go on and get this January planner going. Okay, so I'm going to get started in my journal. Since this is a brand new journal, I'm going to probably be doing a couple of extra pages. So I'm not just going to be doing my weekly planning. I'm going to be adding some additional things into my journal. So the one thing I like to do on the first page, or very close to the first page, is add an index. So I have a ton of these other journals, and I always just kind of put an index in the front. So I was just going to show you a couple that I've done in the past. I like to add an index so that I can quickly find things, my different months that I have, different, gratitude, different things that I can find very quickly when I go through my journal. So probably what I'll be doing as well is I'll also be numbering things as we go. So I won't do the whole thing. I won't number the whole thing right now. But I'm going to leave this page ready for an index. So that's what I'm going to do there. And then probably on this second page, since this is the beginning of a month, I'll probably do sort of a January cover page. I like to do that because it gives me some time to be creative, and it also sort of just introduces the month. So I'm going to be doing that as well. And then starting on this kind of second page here, this is where I'm going to begin to do my weekly planning. So I'm going to be using a new planner kit that I have out in my shop on Etsy, and I'll link it below. It's called Crisp Winter, and I've created it with kind of the idea of, you know, snowfall and, you know, beautiful bright winter days that the snow covers the trees and things like that. So I have lots of different goodies in here, some tabs, lots of different note cards that you can use, and then even some collage elements to put on your pages if you'd like to as well. So this is what I'm going to be using for probably pretty much most of what I'm doing today. Maybe not for the index, since that's not really a January thing. That'll run throughout, you know, however long I can use this book. So I'm going to start first by just putting my index on here. I'm going to start with this page kind of plain. I'm just going to use some distress ink, my rusty hinge, and then these sort of distress letters to put index on there. Now these are pretty big, so I'm going to have to squeeze things together to make sure I get index to fit here. And I may, excuse me, even start at the back and come this way just to make sure I get everything on there. So I'm going to use this binder clip just to hold things open for me, and then I'm going to go ahead and put index right at the top there, so that's going to be done and ready to go. Okay, I was able to fit it all in. I kind of decided to tilt the letters just a little bit to make sure they fit, and they fit nicely. So now I'm just going to add a little bit of a border, and I'm going to make sure my pen is going. And I'm just going to make this kind of a little decorative border. I just like to add something in here, add some doodling and things like that. So I'm just going to put some little ends on this. And maybe I will add a couple of little lines throughout, like that. And I might even go in and just add some more marks and doodles just to spruce things up a little bit. And I always kind of like adding things in odd numbers. I think I heard that somewhere once, but I always like the way that looks. So, okay, I think the index is ready to go. I may add some other things later. We'll see. So I have this little dolly that I cut out, and I love her, but I think I'm going to wait to put that on. But I kind of like the black and white that sort of matches the front of my book. And so maybe I will use that on my index later. So now this page, I was going to do my January cover page, and I still do plan to do that. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until after I've done my weekly planning here. And the reason I say that is because I don't know what exactly I'm going to use for my weekly planning, and I want to cut the things out that I'm going to use for that, and then the leftover items I might use for my January cover page. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm probably going to cut out all of these pieces because there's some background pages here, so those obviously will leave the way that they are, but all of my sort of ephemera pages, I'm going to go ahead and cut them out so that they are ready for me to put wherever I would like to put them. Okay, I have everything cut out so that it's ready for me to use if I want to. And so I'm going to start on my first page here, and I've decided to use, there's 2 weekly pages in this kit, and I decided to use the blue one that has the little date spots with the days already on here. So I normally like to start my week on a Monday and end with Saturday and Sunday. So that's what I have here. And just so you know, if you do get the kit, I have 2 pages that are blank. So these are the same as the weeklies, but they don't have the days on them, so that if you want to start your week on a different day, you can do that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to write in the dates for the week. And I have to remember 2nd, 3rd, I think Monday is the 4th of January. So I'm going to just put my dates right in there using my pen here. And you could use stamps or something if you wanted to. All right. And so now my first week is ready to go. And we're going to put this on this side. Now, the other thing that I'm going to do probably before I put anything down is I'm going to distress everything. So I'm going to grab my vintage photo out here, and I'll probably distress everything. So before I do that, I'm just going to kind of go through, maybe let's see if I can hold this whole thing down so we can take a look at everything. I'm going to pull out some things and figure out what I'm going to put on my next page. Now, usually what I do is I like to put my lists or my note cards on this next page for, to-do lists or gratitude or, different things that I might need throughout the week. And I usually leave them blank until I get to a point where I know I need them. So sometimes if I know I have a lot of things going on, I'll actually add more, to the next page. But I think my first week of January is pretty open. So I think I'm probably not going to put too many things on here. So I have a lot of different options to choose from for my my cards that I'm going to put here. So I'm just going to kind of take a look at what we got, and I think I might use these 2. I like this little small one that has some snowflakes on it. I might put, I'm not sure what I'm going to put on that yet, but I'm going to use this card for the top of this side. So let me see if I can do this without knocking everything all over the place. And then what I might do, I might use this one for one of my tabs. So I have today and intentions and gratitude, and then I have some other tabs that are blank, so if you had something else you wanted to add to it, you could add to those as well. But I think what I might do is I might use my gratitude one, and maybe what I'll do is I will add it to this one somewhere, maybe up here, maybe on the side, I'm not exactly sure, but I'm just going to cut that out so that it's ready to go, and then I will add it where I think it looks good. Now, the other thing that I wanted to mention is sometimes I like to leave some book page showing through, and sometimes I like to cover it up So I'm going to, after I get this cut out, I'll show you some options we have for the back. So if you're not crazy about leaving the book page showing, so you can kind of see here on the right hand side, some of my book pages would be showing. You can use these background pages to add something to the background. So, and I think just because I love this blue one and how it looks, so let's see, I may add this one underneath this side. So I'm just gonna take my pencil and make a couple of marks so I know kind of where to put my cuts so that I can cut this out a little. And let's see, I'm gonna have to cut this down a little bit, but that's okay. Can always use the strip later for something else. So I'm gonna cut this at this first mark. And we'll put that aside for something else, and then just cut this down to size as well. Yeah, I think I like that. And then I can certainly come back and use this for, it looks like a little bit of washi tape or something. I could use this for something else as well. So let's see how we're going to do this. So I think I'm just going to pull this off since it's not glued down yet, just to kind of get an idea of what we're doing here. So I'm going to put this one over here to cover up all my words. And then I'll be able to put my other cards on here, maybe like this, to get things kind of going here. And sometimes I like to keep things straight and even. Sometimes I like to give them a little character by turning them. And I think I might do that with this one, because then my gratitude will pop out a little bit more. Okay, so I think I have at least the start here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and distress all my pieces and start gluing things down. Okay, now as I was distressing things and getting them ready to go, I thought it would be fun to add a pocket to my gratitude, so that if I wanted to add some more, gratitude into this, I could. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue the background page down, but then this one, after I get this attached, I'm just going to glue the three sides here so that I have a side pocket for me to put something in. So I could, put this in if I wanted to, because that would fit perfectly in there. And it would also give me some fun edging on the side of my planner as well. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. I'm going to use my art glitter glue for some of this. I don't know if I'm going to use it for all of it, but I'm going to glue just the top part here to the tab. And of course I got it uneven, so that looks a little bit better. Okay, so now this one's ready to go, and I think I'm going to go ahead and glue these down here, and I think I'm going to use, where's my pin? I think I'm just going to use I don't think I'm going to use glue stick. I'm going to use my tacky glue for this, because I want it to have good hold, and this paper that I printed on is relatively thick, so I want to have something that will really give me some staying power as I go on. So I'm just going to use my tacky glue for the weekly part, and then also for my background there. Okay, now I have this all glued down and I'm going to get ready to glue my pocket down. But I think just to add a little bit of sturdiness to this, I'm going to put on some book page to it. So using old book pages is a great way to not only use some of them up, but to add some sturdiness to your pieces if you want to. So since this is going to be a pocket, I'm just going to glue this down to my book page, and then I'll cut out around everything there as well. And I may even just, glue this down as well. So just the whole thing. And then while I'm at it, I'm going to make this a note card. And since I'm not going to be gluing this down, I want to cover this white back here. I like to use coffee dyed paper for most of the things that I do. So I'm going to add a backing to this as well. And then probably what I'll do is I will sew around them. So this will be, have some stitching on it, and I'll do the same thing with this. And I pulled out these two little pieces of fabric, and I thought they would make a fun little tab on the side. So since I'm going to be putting this into the pocket there, when I sew around this, I'm just going to take one tab and put it here, and one tab and put it here, so that it's got lots of nice ragged edges, plus it shows the pattern on both sides. You could certainly just do one, or you could fold a tab over if you wanted to, but I wanted to have these nice frayed edges out on the side there. So that's what I'm going to do real quick, and I'll be right back. Okay, now I have my stitching on my pocket, and you can see I lined that with some book page, and I lined this with some coffee dyed paper for my little tag that I'm going to put inside. And I have a giant string here, so I'm going to cut a little bit of that off, but I like to have a little bit, flopping around there. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, I think I'm going to put the pocket down first so that I kind of know where this card is going to go. So I'm going to use my glitter glue again, because I just want to get the edges. Now I need to make sure I'm doing the correct three sides. So I want to do the top, the inside, and the bottom. So if I hold it on this edge, I'll be able to make sure I get my glue on the right edges here. So I'm just going to kind of cover the stitches to make sure that I get enough. And then I am also going to add some glue to my tab at the top, because I want that to stick down as well. And then I'm going to find where I want to put it. That's always the hard part. And I'm putting it a little bit into the background so that I have some room on the page for my tab to go in. And I'm also going to make sure I get this tab stuck down. It looked like it was popping up just a little bit there. And I'm just going to hold it down just a minute to make sure that sticks. And while that's drying then a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and put this top one on, because now I can kind of see where I can put it so that it's sort of out of the way, and we got lots of room there. So I'm not gonna use the glitter glue for this. I think I'm just gonna use my glue stick for this one, because I want nice coverage along the whole back side of this, so that it'll stick down. Okay, so we'll put this kind of up here, maybe over on the side just a little bit, because then, now you could certainly be done with this, right here. You could say, okay, that looks good, and we can move on. And sometimes I do that and come back and add things later, if I want to, but this could certainly be done. Now, the other thing that we could do is we could add some of these, I could cut out, I didn't cut these out yet, but I could cut out some of these snowflakes. These might be fun there. I also have, let me dig down in my little ephemera pile here. I have some of these little stamps that are in the kit. They might be fun to put somewhere on here, just to add a little bit of interest somewhere. So I might do that. But then the other thing that I might do is I might grab my ephemera holder, my great big ephemera holder that I use for lots of collaging and things, and maybe just look through here to see what might be fun to add. So I have some blue tickets that might be fun to add in there, but maybe even some things that are a different color might be fun to add some contrast into this. So I might just kind of flip through here. I know I probably have some number labels that would be fun. So let me go ahead and check out what little bits of ephemera I have that might go well with this. Oh yeah, I can already see a couple things that I have. So some of these are blue. They might be fun on there. I kind of like that. But then, like I said, maybe some things that have some different colors, just to give some pop to something. That might be fun too. I kind of like the 12.5. Let's see. Oh, I think I like those two. And then maybe what I'll do as well is I'm going to look for some, like a label maybe, to add something to this. So let me see if I can get this back on here. And I think I have labels in here somewhere. I might need to print some more. Oh, here's some labels. And I kind of wanted something maybe with a black border. So let's kind of see what I got. Or maybe even a blue border, but I don't think I have any of those right now. That's a black border. And these two are black borders. So those snowflakes are pretty fancy. So maybe having a label that's a little fancy in here might be fun as well. This one I think is a little too big. Let me just check this one out. I kind of like the way that one fits better because it's a little bit smaller. Yeah, I think I'll start with those. But then we could keep going, you know, there's no reason to stop, right? Okay, so I'm going to start with this, and I just wanted to show you now that my pocket I think is dry. This can fit right inside of there and adds a nice little touch to the outside. I'll probably keep adding some of these throughout. I kind of love to have things hanging off the side. So I have my tag ready to go, and now I'm just going to go through and add a couple more little bits here and see where we end up. All right, my first week of planning is done, and it's all ready for me to start adding to. And I guess when I say done, I definitely don't mean done, because I certainly might go back in here and add more bits and marks and who knows what. That's why I love doing these planners, because you can always come back and add to it as your creativity leads you. So I have my gratitude pocket all ready to go with my tag that I can add some gratitude in there that I can slide right in there, and I have my nice little tab on the side here. I have this little note card that I could use for some to-do lists or things like that. And then of course I have my week over here where I can add any appointments or events, or even some more to-do lists and things like that over here. So I think this is a perfect start. I am probably going to do another week on this side. And before I do that, I just wanted to tell you that you can see I do have a little rip here in this book. So I'm going to go in before I do anything on this page, and I'll probably glue this down first, make sure that's glued down and tucked in as best I can. And then I may even add some washi tape or possibly even some deli paper in the crease there, just to make sure that this is nice and protected so it doesn't rip any further. So I just wanted to mention that to you, so that you know that, things like this happen, and there's always a way to kind of fix them and come back from them and not have to worry about, how it's going to end up in your planner. So before I do this page though, I do want to go back and do my cover page for January. So that's kind of the last thing that I wanted to do to wrap up this video. And I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but you can see some of the words from the pages here that I had glued down. So I definitely want to make sure that is covered up. So I was thinking it might be fun to use some more of this background page here. And I may tear this one, so I just have a nice big torn piece in the middle here. And then I was thinking about maybe using one of these tabs that's blank. Let me see if I can find the other ones. Here they are. To put my January on. So I was thinking this one might be fun, and I may use my little stamps here to add the word January at the top so that that is there and ready to go. And then I might use just some little pictures or things from the kit to add to the rest of this. So let's go ahead and maybe get started here a little bit. And maybe the first thing I do, since I know I want to do this, is I'll add my January on here. I just need to decide what ink I'm going to use. I think I might just go with black so that it stands out nice for me. And let's see. I guess I'll grab my capitals. I don't always use the capitals, but I think I will this time. So I'm just going to, I like the look of kind of a randomly stamped words here, especially because it kind of looks like with this font on here, it kind of looks like a typewriter. So I'm going to make sure I am not talking while I'm stamping, because I'll probably spell it wrong if I do. I don't think I'm getting enough ink on here. It doesn't look very dark, but that's all right. It's a little better. Since it's black, it still shows up pretty much, which is good. January. Yeah. All right. There. I love the way that looks. Now I'm going to, because I was thinking it might be fun to put that at the top of the page. So, we already have something coming out of the side here, and I think it might be fun to have something at the top. So to do that, I'm going to find some of my background page here. I think I don't know if I used it all from cut off. I may have, but I may use some of this as the backing for this, so that when it's sitting at the top of my page there, you won't be able to see the white on the background. So before I do that, I'm just going to kind of measure out to see how much of this I want. And I kind of like that, maybe this side. It might be fun maybe not to tear the whole thing, because I do like the snowflakes around the edge here. So maybe what I'll do is I'll just tear one side of this, just to kind of give it a fun look here. And I want it to be kind of ragged, kind of not straight. All right. And of course I'll add some distressing, but that covers up the words quite nicely. I like that. And then maybe I could add something even right in the middle. And I feel like I need some texture or some fabric going on here. And maybe some of these snowflakes. Let's see what else I can go grab to get this going here. And see, where's my tab? So this is going to kind of go at the top, and then we'll have some paper in here, and maybe even I'll add a little quote in here. Okay, I've pieced together some things, so I'll just kind of show you. I pulled some fabric out. This is some lace, some vintage lace that I have, and I thought that would be, just to add some texture to it, I thought that would be nice. And here's our ripped page, but I thought that was kind of plain, so I took some book page, and I thought putting that underneath might add just a little bit of texture there too. And then I took just a scrap bit of paper and put a quote on it. Kindness is like snow. It beautifies everything it covers. I thought that would be a perfect quote to kind of kick off January. And then I thought putting that there might be fun. And I finished up my January. Let me see if I can find it. What did I do with it? I don't know. Thought it was here somewhere. I have a tab that has my January on it. Oh, here it is. And I went ahead and backed it with some of the background page there, and then just inked it up so that it's ready to go. And I think I'm going to put that right here. And I'm going to kind of keep that down low. I don't want this sticking out too much so that it, you know, gets bent or beat up or whatever too much there. So I think that's kind of what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to start by gluing down this book page here. And it'll give me, this plus my background page will give me just enough coverage to keep that, the actual book page from showing through. It's funny, I want to cover up book page and I'm going to add book page to it. So, but I'm going to keep this kind of down low here so that it sticks out of the bottom. And then I think since this paper is a little bit heavier, I'm going to go back and use my tacky glue to put this down. I'll just get a little bit around here. I don't use this tacky glue that much, but for this book, because I'll have some time to let things dry, I think I'm going to give it a whirl and see if I like it again. I have a lot of it that I must have, you know, gotten at some point, and I figure, why let it go to waste? So I'm going to try to use it up a little bit, see if I like it, and then maybe I'll use it in some other projects if I do. Okay, so now this, I kind of want this to go towards the top a little bit. I think that might be a little too high. Well, there's one positive thing about this glue, is that you can easily take it back up if you don't have it exactly where you want it. I'm going to try and just get some of that off. I'll come back maybe later when it's dry and use my little glue eraser to see if I can get some of that off. But I wanted it down a little bit lower because I'm going to put my tab up at the top. And so I didn't want that to overlap that for me. So this, I think I'm going to use my, well, we'll keep going with the tacky glue and see how that goes for this, for the tab at the top here. I'm going to make sure I get some good glue on there. And then we'll put this right at the top. I'm keeping it down a little bit on the page, like I said, so that the top doesn't stick out too much, so it doesn't get banged up a lot in there. And I probably could have added some stitching to that. That probably would have been nice. Maybe I'll go back in and do that after the fact. So once that dries, maybe I'll just go in and add a little bit of stitching in there. That might be fun. Okay, so now for my quote, I was thinking that could go here. And I thought that this little postcard, this miniature postcard that's included in the winter, crisp winter kit, I thought might be fun to add to here since we're talking about snow and how it covers everything. So I'm going to, before I glue anything of this down, I think I'm just going to try to glue my lace onto my postcard. So to do that, I'm just going to add some glue, maybe. That's the only thing that I think drives me the most crazy about this, is that you have to leave it upside down or on its side or something. Otherwise the glue goes back up into the bottom and then you can't get anything out. Okay. So first we're going to add the lace on, and then we'll try and glue it down, because I am going to put some additional glue onto it after I glue it to the lace. So I'm going to try and leave that on its side and see if that works. And then let me just see if I have it right side up or upside down, because I wanted to put this little part up here at the top. So I'm going to just try and center it pretty good here. And I don't mind if it bunches up a little bit, because, you know, that just adds a little character to it. Okay. Yes. I like how that looks. Now I'm just going to try to see if I can move this up just a little bit, because it seems like it's a little far down on it. Oops. And now that I've pulled off all the glue, let's see, I think I have that centered a little better now between the top and the bottom. Yes, I like the way that looks, and adds a little bit of texture in there. Okay, so we're going to need to do some more gluing here. So I'm just going to put glue once again just on the, I'm going to leave the edges of this with no glue, so that my lace will, you know, be allowed to move freely here. But I am going to add more glue to the back right where the postcard is, and glue it down from there. I'll move that out of the way for just a second. And I'm going to put this up kind of high, but not too high there. Now we have a little bit of floof. That's the technical term. Oh, I have my other glue out here drying up probably. Okay, and I think I'm going to use, actually I may use the glue stick for this, because I don't want this to be too wrinkly if I can help it. So we'll just add a little glue stick here. And because I have these little, I don't know, loose leaf things, I'm just going to kind of carefully go over those, because I like them. I want to keep them. I don't want to tear them off. And then we will put this underneath the lace, like that. Ooh, I like how this is looking. Looks good so far. I do think we might need to add maybe just a little snowflake here on the side, just as another little piece. That's the fun thing about collage, is you just kind of add as you go, and if something doesn't look right or complete, you just can add in more things to it. Yes, I don't know if you can see the difference there, but it just looked like there was something kind of missing here, and I think that snowflake adds in perfectly. But before I put it down, I'm just going to add just a teeny bit of distress around the edges. Since everything else is distressed, I kind of want it to match that. So yes, I like the way that looks a lot. I think I can use this tacky glue for that. Hopefully my glue is still on its side, which it feels like it is. Okay. And there we go. I think my January cover page is now complete. So I have a nice quote there that I can remember about being kind. I think that's always a good thing to remember, and a wonderful thing to kick off the year. I have my January note there. And then now I can start my other weeks of planning. So I have my first week done. I'm going to go in and get some of that second week done, and then we'll be finished. Okay, I just wanted to show you, I went ahead and did the second week, and I did it basically like I had done the first week. I put my weekly down on the left side, I put a background paper on, and then added some things on the top for me to write on. Now, I did just want to mention that I made this little flip out. So I used the tall note card that's in the kit and backed it with some of the background paper and added the intentions tab because I want to start thinking of some my intentions for the year. And I think this will be a great place for me to come back to them. So I have this little flip out, but then I also have room here to put any to-do lists or notes or things that I have for the week coming up. And I added in the stamp on this sort of beige page. I think it pops out nicely, and just a little butterfly here to add something a little bit different onto the page. So that's my second week of my January journal. And this is the one that we did together. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you're in your planner and you're doing some wonderful things in an altered junk journal planner. If you enjoyed this video, I hope that you'll give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.